Oh, hey, look at this. SpaceX is planning on sending a bunch of Europeans to the ISS. Something about Elon Musk's plan to have cities on the moon and Mars. Yeah. Elon Musk is delusional to think that putting cities in space will benefit humanity in any way. Huh? Me personally, I think he's onto something. Why? Not a fan of space travel? No. Don't get me wrong, I love the thought of traveling space, but I don't think his way is the right way. I'd like to think of it as less colonizing and more... yes, ecotourism. You make colonization sound like it's a bad thing. What? It's just turning space into ours. Wait, what's ecotourism? Like exploring and traveling without all of the waste and throwing stuff and taking stuff, Essentially, ecotourism is a more sustainable way to travel and view other places. Okay, let's say Costa Rica. Yes, it's one of the more popular ecotourism spaces. People who go there will minimize their waste and keep their hands off anything that makes a big impact. So we can do the same in space. Instead of, digging up holes in Jupiter, we can just view the red dot and see how the gas planet works, instead of destroying the place and, throwing trash in space. Jupiter is a gas planet. Not exactly easy to dig holes into. And what's the point in that? We're better off just taking over space instead of just observing it. It was an example. Right. I forgot you were an idiot. Huh? What do you mean by that? With ecotourism, we're not messing with the growth of a planet. Let's say, the saying, don't help a chick with hatching? We're essentially doing that, and viewing the other planets will give us an opportunity to help our own planet and help our own growth as humanity instead of destroying other planets just for fun. Let's say Mars, for example. It will never have life. That's where we come in. See all that space Mars has? It's like seeing food and not eating it. That's what ecotourism sounds like. Not what I was trying to say. You see, other planets may have the materials we need to advance as a civilization. As the GOAT, Stephen Hawking, said, it is our moral obligation to put humanity above all else. It's a good idea to at least get our hands on some of the land to figure stuff out. Plenty without getting our hands on stuff. What's next? Getting our hands on, say, arsenic? Yeah, hands-on learning. That'll be so fun. And just how exactly was arsenic proven to be dangerous to humans? Touché. What I'm trying to get at is if we don't test the waters, how do we know what's good for us? To test the waters. How do we even know if space is safe for us to live in? Or what? Are you willing to sacrifice a big chunk of humanity just to live in Mars, eating crap potatoes and wearing clunky suits? Few lives really worth more than the entirety of humanity? Think about this. Both ways, ecotourism and colonization will cost a few lives. So what's better? Losing a few lives just for the sake of looking at pretty stars, or losing a few lives for the sake of, humanity? It's a better way to travel in space, because we leave everything untouched, especially if something wants to follow our footsteps. Aliens? Don't we want to find life outside of Earth? Well... the dark forest theory. Should I ask, or are you gonna... Dark forest theory is a theory that, yes, we're not alone in our universe, but there are other beings out there, and they're hiding for a reason. You see, we don't know if they're predators, and they don't know we're predators, so it's this basic game of, are we prey, are we predators? And you know what happens to prey if they make loud noises? They get eaten. And so that's why everything is hiding. And there's also potential for a bigger predator out there to be coming after us. So if we make lots of space, and if we take lots of resources and make lots of footsteps, we're basically waving a giant sign saying, hey, look at us, come eat us, come eat us! So essentially, you're concerned that if we start colonizing space, we're essentially placing a giant target on our backs? That's the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard. Besides, even if we do gain the attention by colonizing space, won't we do the same thing by, just being in space? No, that's wrong. Because if we leave no footprints while we travel in space, we're essentially keeping ourselves safe while learning so much more than you would ever, because if you're dead, you can't really learn anything now, can you? And another point, think of all of those delicate ecosystems out there that we would have killed if we keep traveling on and colonizing other planets. But it's not careless, it's for the future. Think of it. Remember the Kardashev scale that I showed you? The one that ranks civilizations? We're a 0.73 civilization. Not even one. We're barely evolved. In order to get to a Type 1 civilization, we need to learn how to properly possess the powers of our planet. In order to get to a Type 2 or maybe Type 3, we need to get our hands on some otherworldly stuff. And that's why I'm saying we should colonize other planets. That's exactly my point. We're so low on the Kardashev scale that we need to take our time and focus on becoming a Type 1 civilization before we do anything else. Because if we rush, we're gonna do something stupid. Don't be stupid. We gotta take our time and think of all the plans and then actually become a Type 1 civilization before moving on to other planets or even the sun. I'm stupid? No, you are. We need to save Earth. We need to be better. We have to evolve. Think of it, Earth is about to crumble due to climate change. In fact, Venus is probably already destroyed because of global warming, as scientists say. I'm all for preserving Earth, but think of it, if we could go to other planets and take what we need to save Earth. You're not thinking outside the box. I'm doing this for the sake of humanity and Earth. You are just thinking of yourself. Save planets by destroying other planets? What? That's stupid. And that is so selfish to even, I keep saying, but apparently it's falling on deaf ears. It's not selfish. We're saving humanity. Can't you think outside of humanity for once? If aliens were tearing up our galaxy, how would you react? It's better to be first than last. Think of it. Humanity is already going to explore space and make cities in it sooner or later. I'd rather it be sooner. It's inevitable. Not inevitable. It is inevitable. You know what else is inevitable? Ow! Hey, you little... So... how do we know if there even are planets that we can inhabit? Well, duh. Once we visit it, we can practically live in it. Oh, right. Just like, oh, I visited a dumpster, so I can go live in it now. Is that what you're trying to say? Not my point. But remember, there are other planets just like ours. Remember the Goldilocks zone? Duh. In order for life to be viable, it has to be in a certain area from the sun. Not too hot, not too cold, because if it's too hot, it'll scorch everything, and if it's too cold, everything will freeze. So anything outside of that, it's pretty hard to harbor life. So you did graduate 3rd grade. Good. I was getting a bit worried. Anyways, back to my point. There are other planets just like ours in the Goldilocks zone. Take, yes, Teehee star C and B. So, basically, they're exoplanets that surround a small mass red dwarf. And they are just like our Earth, and they're also hydrogen rich, which means, hey, a chance of water, and what comes after water? Life. So, let's take Teehee star B. It's like 1.5 times bigger than Earth's mass, and it's just slightly in the warmer side of the Goldilocks zone, but it's still habitable, while Teehee star C is 1.11 times bigger than Earth, and it's in the slightly colder side, so either one's good, and it takes around a decade to arrive to that galaxy, so not too far. Mind you, this is just a small chance hoping that any planet's viable for life. And besides, we can't just go randomly throwing ourselves out there without any regard to what might go on. We need at least some form of reconnaissance. And you know how we can do it? Don't you dare mention ecotourism. Okay. I just about had it with you. Okay, we can focus on saving other planets once we save our own. Oh, and here's another viable option. K2-18b. I would rather let humanity die out before moving to a planet that has numbers in its name. Hey, don't be so picky. We can come up with a better name once we arrive there. And besides, it's also hydrogen in it, so full of water. And imagine space swimming. Wouldn't that be awesome? Way better than your ecotourism. What? Okay. I feel like you're understanding my view of ecotourism wrong. It's not all boring just documenting and writing about stuff. We can actually have fun, like take provincial parks for example. People do plenty of stuff there and it's still protected. That still kind of counts as ecotourism. Say, like, we could still do like swimming in outer space and all that. You just don't have to tear apart the planet to have fun. You know the last time we went touring around unknown spaces and took nothing? No. What are you getting at? Submersible, and we all know how that went. I don't know about your take on billionaires, but I don't think killing them is exactly the solution. Too soon. This is huge. Who cares what we do with it? I don't know. Probably the things living in it, including us. You seem to forget we're part of the solar system. Should I be concerned? And besides, visiting other planets may be nice, but I'm not sure if I want to live in another one besides Earth. No, it would save this trip back. What do you mean by that? Well, what do you mean by that? Well, don't you know how much carbon emissions are released when we send a rocket out to Earth? Guess. Take a guess. 25 to 50 tons per passenger. So if we just keep sending people back and forth, or Earth and back, we're essentially screwing the Earth and killing everything in it by global warming. Hear me out? Well, think of it this way. Your house. Would you like me to just go over to your house and tear the place apart? You know, rip things to shreds, mess everything apart? I don't think you would you? That's exactly what colonizing other planets will do. We're essentially ripping the entire universe apart just for our fun. No, we've colonized other places before. And well, yeah, those prove to have their cons and... Actually, yeah, lots of cons. I don't think it's bad to send things into outer space for the sake of our future. Fun and games until you accidentally kill a planet with your cough. Or even worse, some weird other planet disease may kill you. Who knows? Well, are we even gonna be alive when all of this happens? When it's like really important to think about? Yeah, who knows? Well, I guess, just for our lifetime, we should focus on the Earth. What do you say? Well, yeah, I guess we could be better. If you would stop putting oil... is planning on sending a group of Europeans to whatever that place is. Our theory says... Why? Poor planets that surround a dwarf planet. This is what my life has become to. For a more peaceful... Is that banging? Or ecosystems on Earth. Ecosystem? Costa Rica's a country. Oh, ecosystems. What? I forgot what I was going to say. This is the 5th time. Oh my god. Over everything with our heavy ships and our heavy tanks. That was not in script. Delicate. Why? Why should we care about space, huh? We should just blow up the entire galaxy. We're not being stupid if we rush. Wait. You minus 5 seconds before my brother throws a banana in my face. Raiden, say hi.
Hi.
Okay, anyways.
And goodbye. You're gonna be knocked out after this.
I would rather die. I would rather die. Why do I keep saying I would rather die? The line is I would rather let humanity die out. Frankly, I'm starting to get concerned about your... let's just say I'm concerned about your entire being.